Hey, happy 20th anniversary to Batman Beyond, an animated series that happened in 1999. And I guess my question for y'all for this episode is going to be, would you like to see a Batman Beyond movie? And also, too, what about Batman Beyond game? Let's start the show. And welcome to the In-Game Boss Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Evans, and I want to say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's. We took about a couple weeks off. I had a lot of projects that I needed to work on, but I got a special guest that is returning to my first episode for 2019.
I'm special?
Right.
What?
More than that, you're a mini boss. You're a special mini boss. You're one of those mini bosses, you know, in certain games where you only come one time, and maybe if people like you again, they bring you back. Like, say, like the Mario series and whatnot. Certain mini bosses come back, like Petey Piranha.
Like some of the Koopas.
Some of the Koopas.
I got you.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. You know what I mean? Or Zelda. Some Zelda villains might make a return back.
Have they done a lot of repeat Zelda mini bosses?
I think some of them look similar, but they may be by different names.
I'll call myself the Stalfos from the adult Leaf Temple in Ocarina of Time. We had to fight the two in the circle, and you couldn't.
Is that
fall
your
down.
favorite?
No, it's just whenever I was playing through Ocarina of Time the first time, they were just irritating as hell to beat.
Okay.
Like I had to, that whole game was irritating for me. It took me so long to get past the Deku Tree.
How you been?
I've been good.
Good. Is this your first time?
For what?
This is your first time on the show, right?
On this one? Yeah, I did. I did Gamer Stand. That one when you're maybe first 20 episodes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, have not done this one yet. Haven't been back since you started this one.
Right. You got any resolutions? Anything up in your repertoire or anything like that?
I don't know really. I don't even, not New Year's resolutions, just
Are you even that kind of person? Do you even like those, or you kind of just go with the flow? Like if you have a goal, you're like, okay, I'm just doing that.
Yeah, I just consider it a goal. I wouldn't even consider it like for the year. I mean, the one goal that I had a few years back was like my resolution, if you will, was I wanted to do for those of you who don't know, I do stand-up comedy. So now you know. But I wanted to do a feature set, which was doing 20 to 30 minutes, which is more time than at the time I had done. And I just wanted to do 4 sets, 4 like 20 to 30 minute sets. And at the end of the year, I had ended up doing it. Like I got 3 of them within like 2 weeks, but it ended up working out. So that's kind of my goal, is just to do more comedy, try and get paid a little more doing that, and just
for my listeners,
better.
how long you been in the comedy realm?
6.5 years.
Okay.
July 25th of 2012 was when I started.
Okay.
So been doing it for a minute, man.
You know, for a comedian, it's tough because I think I came to a realization with comedy, because like when I try to write comedy for like an idea I have for a show or something like that, I think nowadays it's so tough because I think you have to go by what kind of comedy you're going with. Like for instance, like I get people that are like, they're Ben Stiller fans, but they're not Will Ferrell fans. They are a Rick and Morty, but maybe they're not a Venture Brothers. Maybe they're an Aqua Teen, but maybe not the Simpsons, Family Guy. There's so many different comedies, and I guess like because like I could watch something that's funny and you're like, that's not funny to me.
Right.
And I guess it's so tough. So like I guess for you, what is the type of comedy do you enjoy?
The type of comedian, or like, are you talking? I mean, in the sense
just
of like
comedy in general. Like, who do you like? Do you like more of the angry kind of style comedy? Do you like the clever comedy? Do you like the ones that make you think, like the Frasier kind of comedy? Do you like the dumb comedy? Tongue in cheek. What is your flavor?
I'm very eclectic with that. I like a lot of stuff. I love Frasier. I watch that every night before I go to sleep while I'm eating dinner. So I do love that. I love Frasier and Friends are 2 of my favorite sitcoms ever. I still listen to Friends or watch it and all that. Rick and Morty, that's like kind of stupid but kind of clever, but it's out there. And what is a Family Guy? I mean, there are some smart things in Family Guy. It's like, oh, that's a smart way they put that together.
Would you consider South Park clever in their own way?
Oh, they're very clever, and also just because the whole thing, they shoot an episode in 6 days.
Yeah.
So that's why they have like, if like something happens, they put it in the episode.
Right.
But with it, I don't watch a lot of their stuff, not because I don't like it. It's just not on my radar a lot.
Right.
But from time to time when
and you need like cable.
Oh,
sometimes.
Oh man, forget that, man. I got the internet. I can watch everything.
That's true.
But no, I am very. And if you want to go to comedians, I'm also very eclectic on that because I like the angry, if you will, like the Joe Rogan-ish Bill Burr stuff where they kind of get angry in their stuff. But I also Lewis Black, very angry in his stuff, but his stuff's more political, not always, but has been, and I love that. But I also like the calmer one-liner stuff. Stephen Wright, Mitch Hedberg, and Demetri Martin. Okay. Their stuff's calm. The dark stuff, Jim Jeffries, Anthony Jeselnik, they've got darker stuff. Jim Jeffries does stories, Jeselnik does one-liners, but they're dark. Also, it doesn't have to be dirty. I like clean comedy. Sebastian Maniscalco, he's got a new special coming out, and he's pretty clean for the most part. I love his stuff. Brian Regan and who is it? Gabriel Iglesias. Like I love those dudes. So it's like so eclectic for me personally.
What comedians have inspired your stand-up? Schematics.
Well, I don't know. That's weird. At first, when I started, I did one-liners. That was kind of what I rolled with, and that was because of Jimmy Carr. I downloaded this mega file of comedy, and he had like 4 or 5 specials out at the time. So I just put them on my iPod, and I listened to all of them. He was doing one-liners, and I loved it. So when I started thinking about doing comedy, that's how I wrote. But then I started listening to Christopher Titus, and he has his whole mentality is the way he does it is like, in general, the story's got to be funny to some degree, but then he goes, just write down everything that happened, every fact. I walked down the street, I took a left, I saw a dog, there was a man with a dog, the man had a hat on, just every detail, as inane as whatever. And then to each of those facts, write a punchline. And, eventually you're going to cut out some of the stuff. The guy's hat doesn't matter. The dog wasn't that funny, but the guy himself looked funny. So awesome, cool. I walked down the road, I saw a man. And then so each of those things has a punchline. And then within each of those, you kind of delve a little deeper and get more punchlines out of it. And I kind of took his track on that. And that's what I've been doing with my stories is a lot of my stuff is... There were still one-liners because it's like just simple things. My parents met at a Burger King. That's a true fact, and that's the fact. And then the joke is just like that doesn't get any applause, nor should it, because if they had planned on meeting at a Burger King, blah blah blah, I wouldn't want them to right. Shit like that. And then the next thing is 9 months later they had me. There you go. That's another thing actually happened or whatever. So it's just like fact, punchline, and it just kind of those two kind of. I took the Jimmy Carr one-liner stuff and then the Christopher Titus make a story work in a one-liner-ish way, and I just kind of melded it together because I'm still doing one-liners, but it's within a story, so it kind of flows better and works.
When you get into a passion of or a career you're doing, I think that you become a critic of your own, and you kind of critique other people's stuff. If you're a cook, you're going to critique somebody's dish sometimes. It's just that it's just goes with the territory. You know what I mean?
That happens at Thanksgiving all the time.
Yeah. So for you as a comedian, I know sometimes that you'll listen to people stand up. They're in that same field with you, trying to grow. My question is for you, and no names don't need to be required for this, but can you tell me an act that you watch and you wanted to laugh, but you couldn't, not because it's inappropriate. It's just, it wasn't funny. And tell me what was the problem with that?
You mean I wanted to laugh because it was so bad? Is that what you're kind of going at?
I guess it's one of those, he has the material. It's just not making me laugh. I feel like I should be laughing, but it's just not funny. Have you never had that before?
Well, it kind of depends. I'm in Los Angeles now, so I see a lot of comics, and there's a lot of it where, you know what? Now that you say that, I can't think of anything in particular. Yeah. But from time to time, someone will say something, and the thought in my head is, "That's a funny." That is funny.
But I could have delivered that better.
Well, not even I could deliver it better, because it's one of those things that if I don't think of it or if I don't see it and it's not my original thing, I'm not going to have the passion to tell it as well.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could tell me a story and I could try and tell it on stage, but it didn't happen to me. I don't have the little details that would make it even funnier.
Right.
So that's happened a few times, but more often than not, sometimes people just aren't funny, and it's one of those things, and I can't knock them because it's, again, the thing of maybe they're just not funny now. Maybe they'll get there. I wasn't the funniest on stage, but I got a couple laughs, so I know it wasn't terrible. I knew I had something. And then the next time, it was kind of all right. Next time, it was kind of all right. And then did a little worse, did a little better, did a little worse, and then eventually kind of got better and better.
But what do you think is the number one thing? Is it maybe delivery? Is it about you're putting your whole self out there? Do you think people are afraid to put their whole self out there when they try to tell a joke? Are they afraid to go all in? Are they nervous? What do you think is some of the issues that you have seen outside looking in?
I would say people don't know how to write a joke.
Okay.
A simple joke is like just going back to the one-liner thing. A simple A-B joke is easy way to put it is a joke takes you on a story. The punch or the setup takes you on a story, and you're going, oh, we're doing this. And the punchline turns you in 90 degrees going, oh, hell, we didn't think we were going that way. Like,
okay.
That's a Jimmy Carr joke, just as like a simple kind of explanation of that. I broke up with my girlfriend because she lied about her weight. All right? I say that. She died in a bungee jumping accident.
Okay, I see.
You see, like your first thought is, oh, he's shallow. It's because of weight thing. It was like, oh no, she died because like she lied, and then they didn't calibrate it right. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
That's, and a lot of people don't know how to write a simple joke. And I feel if you can't write a simple joke, it's hard to do a more complex one and work them into stuff.
Okay.
Not everybody, again, and I'm not the end all be all, but I met Christopher Titus once. And I kind of ran some jokes. But this is before I got on stage. He's one of the reasons I got on stage, because he scared the shit out of me to get on stage. I went down to Houston to see him, and sorry, swear I don't want to unswear. I said.
It's my show. Look, dude, at the in-game boss are they're bosses, man. They do what they want. I don't care.
Cool. Just
I don't care.
I'm a mini boss. I gotta make sure.
No, you're good. You're good.
So I went down to Houston to go see him perform, and then I said, "Hey, man, I'm wanting to do comedy. Could I run some jokes by you, just to see if I was in the kind of the right neighborhood?" And then I told him some.
That was nice of him, though.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Well, he also was in my shoes at one point, and he was always asking, saying, "Hey, can I do this? Can I do this?" So. In a tiny way, he saw a little bit of me in him in the persistence in that regard. Because I also saw him in Denver and asked the same thing and reminded him. But But he said two things. He said, one, he goes, well, you know how to write a joke. You clearly know how to write a joke. I was like, okay, cool. So I've got that down. Yeah. Like the thing, left turn. Oh, we're in a new area. That's not what we thought. And the other thing that he said was, why haven't you got on stage yet? And I was up in Stillwater at the time, and the only open mic was at the Looney Bin in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
And it's like a hour drive for an open mic. And at the time, I didn't have a lot of money. Just driving was ridiculous. I couldn't. I was still in college, so this is over the summer. And I go, well, I haven't. He goes, get on stage. And I was like, okay. And that next Wednesday, I ended up going down.
Sometimes you have to have, it's weird. Sometimes you have to have, I think for people that push people sometimes just to do it. Like,
yeah.
Just push them out there, like force you out there, because you just never know. Like, people sometimes like, man, I'm afraid to take a trip. Go buy a plane ticket right now, and then just do it. Worry about crap later.
Just go somewhere.
Yeah. It's so interesting. Like, when I tell people that they keep saying I want to do a podcast show, like, come on the show, come on, talk. You know what I mean? Like, push. See if this is your environment. If you're not happy on that stage or you're feeling uncomfortable, you have your answer. Maybe you need to change your way of life.
I sat down and talked with my my aunt and my uncle yesterday, and for a little bit, and my whole family's proud of me in the sense that like I'm following my dream as best I can. Like I'm still, I'm
probably that in the commitment.
Yeah,
your road has been a hell of a commitment.
Moving and all that. Yeah. But that's kind of what they're saying is like, well, they're like, Andrew, you're not married, you don't have kids. I don't have any responsibilities outside of myself.
Yeah.
I got to pay my bills, and that's it.
Yeah,
I just got to take care of my bills. And,
I think it would have been so much tougher if you have heavy responsibility, and tried to do that.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's crazy now. But they're so. My uncle was something along the lines of like, he goes, at least he goes, maybe you go out there and in 5 years it's not what you want. He goes, but Yeah. Because if I didn't go, I would never know. And it's one, like my motto of life, if you will, is ask the question. Whatever the question is, ask it, because you're going to be happier with the knowledge than without it.
Right.
And that goes with, it can go from the minute to the major. I've gotten free dessert 3 or 4 times by asking. Server comes up at the end of the meal. Anything else I can grab you? Free dessert wouldn't hurt. Just joke with them. Sometimes they'll say yes. Sometimes they'll say no. You're still going to pay for the meal. Right. I got a discount at Smashburger. I go, she goes, anything else? I go, if you want to throw your employee discount on there, I wouldn't complain. And she goes, okay. I got $1.18 off. Like, I was still paying for the food. You know, just little things. If you want to ask the girl out, ask her out. She's not going to say yes if
Spare
you don't
change. Spare change.
Yeah, there's so many things. Like, that's how I'm running the comedy room that I'm a part of. There's a guy named Sam Tripoli. He's a great comic. He's a staple in the at the Comedy Store. He has a show every Tuesday. Thanks to him, I got to meet Bill Burr and Russell Peters and Joe Rogan, and I see Rogan like at least twice a month. Like, he doesn't really know who I am, but I get to say hi. It's not nothing. So thanks to that, I met Sam, and he was at the Comedy Store one day, and I just said, "Hey man, I'd love," because I heard him on another podcast talk about a comedy room that he's running, and he's like, "Man, we do it all the time. It's every night, blah blah blah. Come on by." And I just ran into him and said, "Hey man, I'd love to help." I said, "I'll set up chairs. I'll bark for people." He goes, "Just tweet me." So I got his information, and I chat with him, and now I talk to him a couple times a week.
Awesome.
So I mean, it's just like I just ask, and now I'm part of this room, and I'm not integral in the room, but I help as much as I can, and they want me there as much as I want to be there. So I mean, they love me being there. I love being there. It's a great group. It's a great room. It's fun, and I wouldn't have got to do all that if I didn't say anything.
Well, I mean, this is only the beginning of the year, so more good things can come. But if you're a first time listening to the show, remember, this is a video game podcast.
So I have to go down the comedy road.
It's good because Andrew and I, we probably see each other maybe once a year.
Once or twice, yeah.
Once or twice a year.
Depending on when I get back.
Yeah. And so, but for people that don't know, this is the video game podcast where we talk about video games. And at the beginning of the show, I asked you 2 questions. But before we even get to those 2 questions, we have some news and updates to talk about. So let's go ahead and go right into our news. And one of the updates is, if you know a guy by the name of Randy Pitchford, he is the guy that he's kind of the head of Take-Two, Gearbox, Take-Two Production Interactive, and one of the games that very popular is Borderlands. Andrew, are you a Borderlands fan? Have you played any?
I loved them. Played 1 and 2. I didn't get through Handsome Jack. But the
pre-sequel,
yeah. I didn't get through it, but
No Gravity Edition, and so, well, he's not having a good week apparently, because he is getting sued by one of his fellow other coworkers. Name, let me see here, Wade Calendar. Is that how you say it? Calendar?
Yeah,
calendar. Yeah, and it's not spelled like calendar. So, no. But he's basically suing for fraud and breach of
fiduciary duty.
There you go. And on top of that, they're talking about he would borrow money and destroy evidence for a home loan, borrow money for tuition, and it didn't pay back either. He would also use a personal expense, including family vacations, gun club memberships, and firearm accessories, and try to get a 6-pack abs. Now, everything was fine until the 6-pack abs came out of nowhere. I was like, whoa, where did this come from? Like, that is out of nowhere. But all this is happening right now. He's a bit in hot water. And I guess my question in all this is, are we going to get a Borderlands 3 because of this fiasco? Is this looking not good for Gearbox? That's a lot of money. Yeah. $12 million is a lot of money.
It's a lot. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know what I'm about to say because I'm wrong. I mean, it also depends because, and
this $12 million he said to him, given to himself as a bonus.
So, I mean, here's the thing. I watch too many lawyer shows. So the money could easily still be in his accounts or within items that he bought to where they could sell to get the money back. Like if he would depend, all depends on the situation.
Right.
However it breaks down. Eventually everyone could see this shit and go, okay, cool. It's actually legitimate. We're sorry that he screwed you out of money, but it's legit and you can't get it back. That is a possibility. But also, if that is the case, Pitchford's still he still works for him, right?
As of right now, but my question is, do you think the $12 million is taking out of some of the workers' pay to give himself that? Is that a possibility?
It's a possibility. Yeah. I mean, because like, it's either a possibility or it could go down a couple ways to where like he took it out of like the company's fund, and due to that now they can't pay him or they don't have funds to hire on the people they need, so the project could get canceled, therefore they don't have jobs anymore. That's a thing too. There's 1,000 different ways this could play out.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just hope
take money, people.
Well, if a Borderlands 3 is going to come, it's not gonna, by the way this is looking at this little fiasco is going on, it's probably a long ways away now.
Yeah.
We're not probably not going to see it till like 2020 probably. And that's just playing to announce it. Probably.
Because the last game they did was the Telltale series, wasn't it?
No, that I don't think they were under them, were they? Were they under
Well, I'm just
Take-Two?
within the Borderlands.
No, Take-Two used their material to do their stuff. They didn't have their hands on it too much. They just used their property.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm just saying within the Borderlands property.
Oh, you're just talking about
in general, not
as a
Take-Two
Borderland
or
entry.
Gearbox,
Yeah,
just
Tales
in
of the
thing.
Borderland is the last entry in the Borderland universe.
Yeah. Because it was 1, 2 pre-sequel, and then the Tales. So yeah, they haven't had anything.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to be till like the PS5.
Sort of. The only thing that I can think of that they've done in between is well, I don't even know if it's in between because it's still the same game, but they ported it or whatever. My friend got the PSVR. And they have Borderlands 2.
Does he like it?
We haven't played it, but I just know that it's on there.
I heard it got some pretty good reviews.
Well, the VR or that game?
The VR edition.
Oh, of that game. Yeah.
I heard some good things.
I thought it would be cool, especially, I mean, you're getting to shoot all the crazy guns that you never got to.
Right. You just have to let me know how the running around feels, like how that works.
That's there was one game have you played the Oculus?
I haven't touched any VR other than the PSVR at a convention.
Dude, you got to check out the Oculus. It's so much fun. There's a game called Robo Recall, and it's basically what is it? iRobot.
Okay.
And you're Will Smith. It's exactly what it is, because there's all these robots that just go haywire and they start attacking the city, and you got like a pistol, shotgun, machine gun, and
does it feel kind of archaic?
What do you mean?
Like archaic. Like, have you ever played a shooter on an arcade? You know. Something comes at you, and you just shoot whatever comes at you in hordes. Is it in hordes?
Sort of. It's but like it's all the way the movement is like, because the way the movement is like you have to like click a button and then you like move to where it'll throw you, and you have to like, but it'll throw you that direction, but that place, but you have to face the direction. But dude, it is so immersive. It is like I legitimately thought and I'm like moving, and like you can rip their heads off, like the robots.
Oh, okay.
Because there's different missions, like, or different challenges. Like one of them is like try and get 12,000 points. Don't use your guns, so you only can rip their heads off.
Oh,
you
okay.
You gotta like punch enough bodies off the roof.
Very fluent game. Is it very fluent? Very
fluid. Oh, dude, it's insane, man. Like it is so good. So it's so much fun, and we beat the whole game in a day.
Is that the only thing you have in your household? Is the Oculus Rift?
It's my buddy. I don't have it. Oh hell!
I mean, that's the only thing he has then.
No, I think he's got a PlayStation as well.
Okay.
Maybe Xbox.
Was that your first time playing VR? Is that your first time?
The Oculus?
Yeah. Is that your first time playing that one? Okay.
Oh hell, dude! It was so much fun. We played for like 4, 5, 6 hours. It was great.
Oh, okay.
I like go to lunch, come back and play some more. It was so much fun. But so that game's called Robo Recall. My buddy got the PlayStation VR, and he ended up getting this game called Raw Data, and it's a close facsimile of the same game. It's basically you're fighting robots that are attacking you, and I love the PlayStation VR, but it's just not as smooth.
I heard it's very tight on your head. When I put it on, I felt a little tight on my head.
That's true too. Yeah. The Oculus is a little fitter, and also Oculus has got the headphones that are built in, so like it just everything is here. With the PlayStation, it's just sound from your TV. And it's not as and everything's done off of a camera instead of done off of. I guess the Oculus is done off of a camera too, but it's like you kind of like you get the sensor, like the controllers are the sensors, and you kind of map out like where in your room you're going to be playing. So the game kind of adjusts and makes sure that you're not walking into shit and doing all that fun stuff. And it's just a real fun. It's so much fun, dude. But the PlayStation VR one was not as cool. But also on Oculus, you've got 2 joysticks, and on the PSVR, there's no joysticks. Okay, it's just
I'll have to try the Oculus because even though it was tied on my head with the PSVR, I still enjoyed what the game I was playing.
No, it's cool, but it's just
right. Some other quick news for everybody. If you're a Resident Evil 2 fan, there is a demo out right now as we speak, and it's over on the 31st. It's called One Shot Demo. You play it one time. You only got 30 minutes with it, and once the 30 minutes up, you are done, and you cannot play it anymore. So choose wisely. Yes.
Huh.
Yes, and you can play this on the PS4, your Xbox, and PC. So definitely check it out. I have it on Steam that I'll probably load up. It says play, so what it'll do is it'll probably install and then it'll probably automatically start. So I didn't want to install it and get it going until I was ready.
Of course.
Yeah. So yeah.
right.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing. Most of the time when they do those kind of things, they mostly do the demos like, hey, you only got 30 minutes in that world, but like there is a limit to that world that they give you. And you could just go back in there multiple times, but you only get 30 minutes or something. Like here is like, nope, I guess there's just one and done.
That is crazy.
Yeah. Could you imagine if like an RPG game doing that? Yeah, it's like 30 minutes in an RPG and that's it. Like really? That's it?
Yeah.
Really?
That's nuts, man. That's clever though. Because then I was just talking to my friend who has the PSVR about it, my buddy Josh, and I said, you know what pisses me off is PlayStation doesn't have demos anymore. Very rarely do they have demos. The only ones I can think of is hell, what was it? The Silent Hill.
The PT?
Yeah.
There was one for Detroit that came out.
There was. Okay.
There was a demo for Detroit.
And then Resident Evil 7.
Yeah,
and then now this one for Resident Evil 2, but there's very few demos.
There's a lot of demos. They're just not your big AAA demos. I'll put it like that. There's a lot of indie demos. There's a lot of them.
Well,
but for your AAA, like you're not going to get a God of War. You're not going to get a Horizon Dawn.
That's crazy.
Zero. You're not
on the PS3. Every game had a demo. Like Heavenly Sword, Uncharted had a demo. I mean, there was all these demos for like the big heavy hitting games.
I think they do demos of games that they know is going to be probably good. I think some of them.
Yeah.
And I think too is maybe first parties don't do it anymore.
Okay.
But of course, Resident Evil is Capcom. Capcom is at a point where they kind of need to put demos out because their record has not been the best.
Yeah.
And so that's my prediction for that right now. Who knows? Maybe The Last of Us 2 might have a demo. Maybe that Days Gone. Now Dreams is supposed to get a demo out.
Okay.
Yeah, so but I'm not 100% sure on that. But you could be right. I think it's just maybe the AAAs. It's the ones that you're wanting. Like you would never see a Kingdom Hearts demo. We never had a Kingdom Hearts demo.
Apparently there was for 2. There was like a...
Was there now?
This is what a friend told me. Is this dude named Brandon something. This is my sophomore year of high school. He told me that there was a Kingdom Hearts 2 demo. It was like you had to go somewhere to get it, but all it was you got to play the Twilight Town part of it. It was up until you get Sora out. Spoiler alert.
Okay.
It was the whole Roxas portion. That was it. But after that was it. You couldn't play anything else. But whenever you got Kingdom Hearts 2, you could start from that point and move on.
Okay.
All right.
So, let's go ahead and wrap it up with some updates. So, as you know, in 2019, there's a lot of new shows that are coming up. They're not coming up immediately, but, your In-Game Boss podcast is still going. But a couple of shows one show is ending. It's Game Halls of Rivalries. We are going to these are the final 2 episodes. They're coming out this month. So, it'll be a total of 14 episodes. We are very proud of it. We started in June, where we pin 2 characters together and we talk about what their rivalry have done in the industry of gaming. So you would say like, Mario and Sonic,
yeah.
or Dr. Robotnik and Bowser, or Nathan Drake and Lara Croft. How they learn from each other.
Right.
And that's how they changed the game for a lot of other games to learn from how to keep an action game going without loading. I think a lot of games has influence on that. We talked about Princess Zelda and Princess Peach, the only 2 well-known princesses in the game.
Yeah.
You're right. See, and so we take those rivalries and we just talk about all of them. And we have this one coming up is the Metroid and Master Chief, and we talked about how they rival each other back and forth during the Xbox and the GameCube era, where one game came out the year after another. And
it was like what Prime, or it was Halo Prime, Halo 2 Prime.
Yep, and then so on, and they rival each other so much is because the fact that they just came out back to back, and they were the only biggest sci-fi hero games at that time, and that was their flagship. Like Nintendo was really pushing Metroid Prime to be the flagship to me,
right?
To really push that out, even though Mario was there, but Mario didn't get a lot of solo entries
on game
in the GameCube.
Yeah, Sunshine, I think.
Yeah. So, but Prime got, 2. Third one came for the Wii, but regardless, 3 came for the 360. So it still worked out.
Yeah.
They both jumped that. And in our finale, I can't spoil it for you, but it's an RPG, not spoiling, but it's a Final Fantasy and something else. That's all I can tell you. So I don't want to ruin it for you.
Right.
And so, but with that, also ending part 2 is our Bond Never Dies, is a James Bond podcast where me and my buddy Travis Hanna, we go through every single Bond film. We talk you through the whole story, and we discuss certain parts in that movie that we pause it kind of and just talk about like certain things that kind of got us, you know, like Dr. No, did you know like they thought the deadliest thing in there was the spider? So we come back and discuss like, it might have been deadly at the time, but it's kind of cheesy now.
Yeah.
We also found out that every Bond film is set at the same year they bring it out. Weird, right? So if a Bond movie came out in 84, that's the year that is set in, 1984.
Right.
Yeah. It's really weird.
Because he's supposed to be the same guy all the time, in theory, from actor to actor.
Right. And now there's that theory of it's now just a title name instead of, that's what they have to do.
Yeah.
Because now it messes up when Daniel Craig's Bond is supposed to be before all of that. So this whole thing messes up, and a lot of people didn't know that Bond was married at one point. Yeah. So and it could have been faded away with another movie that people don't consider part of the Bond thing, but they brought it back in the canon. So now he's been married, and so. But Area 44 with John Robles, he is doing. He is in talk about how he wants to go in with his next show. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't want to spoil or tell anything, so I'll let him tell you more about that. And then we have a new show coming in called Back to the Future. And this is what I'm doing with Nam Tran. And where what we do is each episode, we pick one era from each one. 80s, 90s, 00, 10s, and then a category of the 70s and back. So each episode is like episode 1, 80s, episode 2, 90s, episode 3, and yada, yada. And they just rotate. Okay. So, we might pick them. Like I said, like for one, maybe we pick Weird Science as the 80s one, and that's what we do. And it gives us a chance to revisit a lot of films, even from old ones to new ones. So that just really pushes us to keep going. So I'm very happy about that. But we have more shows to talk about when the time comes, and I'm very excited to mention those. My goal for this network right now is to have a total of 10 shows, not at once, just have 10 shows that have been done on the show.
Word.
And so I got 4, so 6 more to go. So
that's awesome, buddy.
Yeah. Now, this is going to be a jam-packed episode because we got a lot of stuff to talk about. We're trying to make up time for all this stuff. But I have a special segment for Andrew, and I call this segment Heart to Heart. And there's a special game coming out on January 29th. What is that game, Andrew?
Kingdom Hearts 3.
And Andrew is a die-hard Kingdom Hearts fan. And
so much fun.
And I really want to sit for a second, and hopefully Andrew doesn't give us a whole paragraph, but
I'll keep it short.
Yeah, but
sorry, man.
No, you're good. But I want to hear what brought you into that. Why do you love it so much? And then I have a couple more other questions for you.
Excuse me. What brought me into it was it's fine. What brought me into it was this was back when first came out in 2000. So that was what? No. Yeah, but commercials and all that stuff came out in 2000. So either way, so 2001 is, you're gonna do that as 18 years ago. So I was 10. At that point. So I remember I still watch Disney Channel all the time, and they had a Disney thing about Kingdom Hearts, and I was like, oh, I'm in. Like I saw it, and then or 2002. Okay, so I was off, but we were both off by a year.
Yeah, right.
So I was 12, whatever.
Oh, okay.
But no, so I just I saw it, and then I remember reading a commercial about reading a commercial magazine that had like it was like the Destiny Islands, just the first level, and it was like a little bit of Traverse Town, and that was it. I just read a little bit of this magazine while Mom was shopping, and I was just sitting in the magazine out like, oh my god, but I didn't have a PlayStation 2. I never had one, so I got into it, and I finally got to play it at a friend's house a few times. Always wanted to actually play the whole thing. Got it myself one Christmas, and I stayed awake until about 4 or 5 each night. Woke up at noon and just kept playing for 7 days straight until I beat that game. And then just the second one.
It's funny, when I first saw Kingdom Hearts, this was at the time Disney streak of games were not doing very well.
Right.
So I was looking at this, and I thought like, this is a little bit too cheesy and childish. Like a kid helping out with these Disney characters. On paper, if you told somebody that, it just doesn't sound cool. Right. Like, it's this kid going to different worlds and say, like, nah, this is silly. My buddy bought it, and I watched him play it, and I'm like, oh, so it's the same people that did Final Fantasy. And it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, and I saw the gameplay. I'm like, oh, okay, I never saw a game like this, because back in the day, there was a lot more turn-based than
Yeah.
active turn-based like that. And so this was totally different. This was more of a hack and slash style.
Yeah.
And so I bought it, and I ended up liking it. Camera angles was a bit of a fight, but it was still cool, because they did a good job you immersing into the worlds that you were jumping into.
Yeah.
And it did bring back childhood memories.
I was about to say,
of-
yeah, because it's all just nostalgia. You're like, I get to play as Simba.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, and so when the second one came out in 2005, which I think that one is, the gameplay's better, but I think the first one's better in story. To me, the second one was a little bit confusing. What's going on a little bit?
Well, just as soon as they got into all the handheld games, the story went chaos. And
Yeah,
you're going back in time.
That's why I think I like the first
Oh
one
my
the best,
God.
because it just was a simple story.
A
It
to
was
B.
just
It's very
just
A to B.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just very simple. Just trying to find your friends. That was the whole concept of it. 2
Yeah.
was more of, you still are, but you got to do some stuff before you can get back to finding your friends, right?
Yeah.
And so, but I'll say this. I really like, other than beside the beginning was a little rough at the beginning, you know, because
First or second?
Second one, because the fact that in the beginning
Roxas.
you were kind of slapped in the face of who is this person, which it all came together, but you were like, where is my Sora?
Yeah,
your
yeah.
trailer, your movies, and all this just showed him. But then I get this guy named Roxas. Like, what is going on? And so,
He's a nobody new.
right. And so, and nobody cares. You see what I did there?
Well played.
Anyways, so when I started playing it, the battle system was very improved. A lot of the worlds we've revisited again were a huge improvement with more stuff to do than
Yeah, it was
last
like
time.
different areas of those worlds.
Yeah. So it was a big improvement. It's just a little bit stories and everything like. So my question for you, Andrew, for the next one is Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming out. You're very excited. Your meter is like to a 10 probably.
Oh, dude, I can't wait.
but
Sorry, real quick. And also another thing that's coming out that I've waited for a while is Netflix brought back Young Justice, and it comes out the week before. And I'm specifically not watching those shows because I'm gonna binge them the 2 days before, get Kingdom Hearts, and then play it over the weekend.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, I'm cram packing that
So,
weekend.
as you know, one of the weakest things about Kingdom Hearts is they like to rehash worlds. We've seen this before.
Yeah.
So when you play this game again, we did see some new worlds. We saw Big Hero 6 world. We did see
Frozen.
We
Tangled.
saw Tangle. We saw Wreck-It. Well, Wreck-It Ralph was more of a character. We don't get the Wreck-It Ralph world.
He's a summon.
Toy Story.
Toy Story.
All this stuff.
They're doing Olympus again.
Yeah, Olympus is always going to be the Coliseum world. That's just going to be hands down. I swear, there's more information in that than the movie is telling you. Like, if you go watch it, you're right.
Oh, the Hercules movie.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm learning more of this that the movie probably doesn't know it knows.
Yeah, that's funny.
And so, but I guess my question is, one, what is your world that you really want Kingdom Hearts to be in there? And two, is what world would you be surprised to see in there?
I would be very surprised only because it's a Disney thing now, and I think everyone wants it, but I still don't think it's gonna happen. I would be like, it would shock the hell out of me if they put Star Wars in there,
Okay.
in some way, shape, or form.
Okay.
There might be a Keyblade. That's the closest thing I can think of. Is
Okay.
they had like a saber Keyblade or something like that. And what world do I want there to be in there?
That is traditional Disney. Traditional
the
Disney.
cartoony ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can do live action if you can think of a good one.
Yeah, no, I really can't. I mean,
Okay.
they did Pirates. That's the only one that really fits because they're not going to do the Lone Ranger because it was terrible.
Right.
High School Musical. No, it's Disney.
It'll be a super move.
There we go. No, Robin Hood. That's the only one I can. I don't know how they would do it exactly because it wasn't. I say that. I mean, thinking back to the other ones, like I never thought they would be able to like find enemies within, Alice in Wonderland, but they took the card guards.
Now remember, in Birth by Sleep, there was a Cinderella level.
See, now that's the thing. I've only ever
Okay.
played the consoles. I haven't played handheld.
Well, in the handheld there was a Cinderella. There was a Sleeping Beauty.
Snow White was in there
and
too,
Snow
wasn't
White was
she?
also in
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't.
Very small worlds where they portray because it was a handheld wise
Right.
material. But yeah.
I maybe that was the Rescuers.
Mm-hmm.
It was the Rescuers Disney.
Rescue and Rescue Down Under.
Rescuers would be interesting. Kind of
Okay.
mini, like shrink you down. That'd be kind of like a whole world that was just like that first area of Alice in
Oh,
Wonderland.
think about the swamp.
Ooh, that would be good. The crazy lady and the alligator.
Then, yeah, and then you have the little fly that can carry you across all that stuff.
That would be kind of interesting. We've had this conversation a few times.
Yeah, because it'd be kind of cool to see the big scary woman trying to kill you as you're small, and you got the alligator,
Yeah.
and you had her little husband / henchman,
Yeah.
and so that would be really cool.
That'd be kinda
That'd be
cool.
kind of cool and unique in some
The
sort
only thing
of
I
way.
can think that would be odd, like on what is it? Robin Hood. That'd be great.
Robin Hood would look beautiful.
Right, and I think you'd fight the snake. That'd be like the mini boss, maybe.
Sure, Nottingham would be in there, and you had the couple guards.
Yeah, and then I'm thinking because the king was the whatever the bad guy, if you will, but it'd be kind of. That could be one of the ones that Pete comes in and takes over, and he's the main boss or whatever.
There you
So
go,
yeah,
that's a good one.
there's some way to do something. But yeah, I think that would be
Okay.
fun, just because I love I love Robin Hood's voice in that.
Yeah.
I can't remember who voiced
Him
him.
as an ally would be just cool in general. So that would be really cool.
'Cause, He'd be the only ranged because he uses the bow.
Right.
He doesn't have a sword really.
Right. Or maybe Zootopia will probably do something with that. Anyways,
Was that Disney?
Zootopia was Disney. Yeah.
be odd.
For me, I actually watched this movie last year for the first time. The movie has potential, but the problem is the movie didn't do very well. So you're never going to get the whole story. But that world would be cool to explore. And that'd be the Dark Cauldron. That would be an interesting
Okay.
film.
Ooh, I'm surprised you didn't go with Treasure Planet.
Treasure Planet is,
think
the
you've
problem
said
is,
that before, yeah.
I said that I want Treasure Planet, but I think it's so forgotten that I don't think they're ever going to
Yeah,
touch it. But
yeah.
that would be a slap in the face. Like, no freaking way. Because we always pictured that we wanted him the surf.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what we
yeah.
wanted. That's
Yeah,
what we
yeah,
really
yeah.
wanted more than anything. And I would have the robot guy be my partner,
Yeah.
not the kid. But no, that would be cool if they can really dig into their old library of stuff and really just surprise us with stuff that they're not showing there. I'd be happy. But
I guess.
it's a 50-50. We don't know.
That's cool.
I think that's why they put the ones in the smaller ones to experiment. Because Hunchback of Notre Dame was in the small ones.
I didn't know those Disney.
Dream,
There's so many, like-
Dreamed Up Distance that was in there.
Right.
And so, and the Musketeers, they were in there, with Donald, Mickey Mouse, and Goofy,
Oh, okay,
all that in there. But heart to heart, I hope the game does successful. I'm just ready for it to come and go because it's just been too long. It's
been active for like 4 years
and
now.
it's just been a lot of too many side quests to get to this third entry. Like you said earlier before we started the show, it's been 15 years. That's insane for a third entry. It skipped a whole console generation. It skipped a PS3 era.
Yeah.
Other than like remixing them, but
Yeah.
it skipped a whole generation for this.
Yeah.
And so. But before we wrap it up, any last words before we take a break?
No, not really. I can't wait for the game to come out. I beat that damn thing, both of them on PS2. I beat the next ones on PS3 when they did the remixes, and then they decided on the PS4 to do the 1 and 2 remix. I was like, son of a bitch. So I went and
There you
bought
go.
that and then beat both of them again. So I've beaten all of them 3 times.
Well, hopefully for you guys, I hope it's a whole new world, and we'll be taking a break, and we'll be right back.
I'm your Dream City Saint Nom Tran.
And I am your time traveling analyst, Jeremy Evans.
We're proud to present to you a new show to the Endgame Boss program, where we watch movies that we love, we hate, and that we hadn't seen before.
As we take you on a journey through the present, the 2000s, the 90s, the 80s, and further back.
So let us take you back to the future.
We did it.
Yeah, we did it. High five!
No, stop that. Stop that. No. Welcome back. I'm your host, Jeremy Evans, with Andrew Rose. And hey, I did not mention you at all who you were at the very beginning. People are just wondering who's this mysterious guy's talking to me. But, like I said, we have a jam-packed episode. But the main reason I brought Andrew here is for one reason only.
I'm so pretty.
Batman.
Oh, well, it's close enough. What are you?
I'm Batman. I'm Batman. I'm Batman. No. I want the Michael Keaton way. I'm Batman. I'm Batman. Yeah. Not the Nolan. Yeah. No. By the way, Dark Knight's still your favorite Batman, right?
Oh, definitely.
Okay. Because the first one's my favorite.
Yeah, I know. But
Yeah.
my favorite...
And no lie, if watching those in theater, you knew the classic Batman in theaters was a lot better than the Dark Knight Batman in theater.
Okay, yes and no. Here's the thing. I want to say yes, but the reason it was better was because one, I got to see it with you. It was the first time I ever saw it in theaters.
Yeah.
I got to see it with you, so like I was there with a buddy. When I went to go see The Dark Knight for the first time, I went with my high school girlfriend, so I was just like, she was just there, and I was just into the movie, so
Right.
I didn't have anyone to go. He's in the. Like, she didn't care. With you, I was like, okay, all right, man. Like, and we also this was like what 2 years ago, and we saw it like over like Christmas-ish time.
Yeah.
And it was just like everyone in the movie. The movie was 20 years old or whatever it is. So like,
Everybody in there was just having fun.
yeah. Because like if we were talking, it was just like, hey man, it's like you're ruining the. No, we're not. It's everywhere else. Just shut up and enjoy the silliness. But yeah, that was it was fun for. I will say it was better, but for different reasons because I
Right.
was there with a buddy having fun, just being silly and
Yeah,
and all that
I
shit.
love about it because like you could tell people knew the lines. People laughed at the right spots that they knew they were laughing at. Your favorite scene was the part where
He fucking jumps in a hole.
yeah, it was at the very end at the bell tower.
All right.
Yeah.
That was it. Like, because we both fucking died laughing. It was so good because you forgot about it, I think.
I did. I was shocked. I was like, oh yeah, that was a thing. Because you forget that Batman really didn't fight hand to hand that much in that whole film. If you really think about it,
Yeah.
he only had like a beginning. He might throw some punches and stuff
and then
like
it's
that.
all like the gadgets and stuff that do the work. or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. Like, you know, the famous thing everybody laugh at is the part where that guy in the alley was with all the blades and he was just shaking him around like he was a badass, and then Batman just kicks him right in the face and he falls.
Yeah.
So it's like the Indiana Jones thing, but
with the sword man.
Yeah. So but we're not here to talk about original Batman.
No.
He's already cool.
We're going beyond that.
We're going way beyond that. We're going to the future. That's actually set, no lie, 2019.
Is it?
Yes, and that's
Hot
Batman
damn.
Beyond.
Hot
that
damn.
started in January 10th, in 1999. January 10th, 1999, and ended
Beyond it?
Yeah, in 1999.
I was 8, man.
Yeah, and
Hot
ended
damn.
in December 20th.
Oh, it's 20 years ago. This makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
obviously. Okay.
So I brought
That's
you
why
on. I was
wanted
like,
to-
we're going to talk about the 20th,
Yeah, that's
20th
perfect.
anniversary. But I want to talk about what is Beyond. What do we like about it? How come this wasn't a movie? And what do we want if there was a video game made? So first things first, for people that don't know what Batman Beyond is, the game is like I said, it's a show that's set in the future, 2019, where super futuristic Metropolis still dark Gotham City, and this is where we get the old Bruce Wayne that's getting too old to be Batman, and you have a character named Terry McGinnis that ends up trying to steal the suit, but ends up becoming the new Batman. And from there you got the show with old library of villains with fresh new ones also in the making of that. And also too, like there was a animated movie, The Return of the Joker, that did happen and everything like that. But let's talk about what we like and dislike about it. So what I liked about Batman Beyond was one, it was totally different at the time. Like I never thought Batman was ever going to do a futuristic kind of show. That just comes out of nowhere.
Also set in the same world, basically.
Yeah. And the fact that we get a new protagonist.
Uh-huh.
It's
Ooh,
not.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, it's not. It's not a Batman in the future with another character named Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, everything is always Bruce. This was Terry. That's a really good point.
Yeah. So
never thought about that.
that's why I kind of like about this. It was like a new person taking the role instead of remaking. This is a Batman futuristic edition with a younger Bruce Wayne doing it. I was like, no, Bruce Wayne's old. That's awesome. And with a guy taking the realm and Batman helping out, he's basically the Lucius Fox now.
Okay.
Per se, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Alfred, I think he was long gone.
Oh, he had to be.
Yeah, and so that's what I really like about, and I love how the culture of that world changed due to villains had been there. So you had a Joker gang that was inspired by the Joker,
Right.
and then you have all veteran characters that have been staying high. Mr. Freeze is still alive, but he's still doing his thing, but he can't move around that much more. He's getting too old. Still trying to figure out what to say, how to save his wife. Wow, that's a long time, right?
She's been frozen forever.
I know, right? And so, but Andrew, what about you? What drew you to like Batman Beyond?
That was a lot of my stuff when it comes to being able to watch shows was it always just came down to it was on. It's not now. Now I
Right.
can choose what I want.
It was
Like-
part of your like cartoon block, and you're like, it's on. I'll watch.
Yeah,
it.
it was because it was like the Batman animated series was always on when I was younger, and I always watched it like right when my mom came to pick me up from my grandma's. So I
Mm-hmm.
always remember that. And then this one happened when I was 4th grade. something like that. Yeah, I just went home and it was on again, so I just watched it and kind of was like, all right, cool. And it took me, years later before I realized that it was who's the dude that does Kevin Conroy. I realized that he was like, how big of an influence he is just in the first one, in this one. Like, I didn't know it was the same dude. So I'm like, oh, it carries over. It's the same world, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff I never really thought about. But also it was around the time that it was still on Kids WB.
Yes.
Because they did that, and then they did Static Shock, and then there was crossovers with that.
Yes.
So there was like all that stuff kind of played in, and I was like, oh, so these shows, he knows him, and they know that guy, and
Yeah,
Justice
just
League.
creating that DC universe together.
Exactly.
That also included with the Justice League later on.
There was so much that kind of just played into each other, so it was cool. I remember like the biggest thing that I remember is that the Batarangs were different. I'm like, they're not the same.
Yeah.
There's not Batman. I was like, just
Yeah.
a kid not knowing.
Also, I noticed too is I feel like the world is way more crimey. Crimey is not a word, but there was a lot more.
I get what you're saying.
There was a lot more
Grungy and
crime.
dirty and-
Yeah, it was just.
yeah.
It seemed like crime did not get any better. It just got worse.
Yeah.
The fact that Batman has
Yeah.
to still continue doing it.
Well, the thing is, like, if you pay attention to like any of the movies or whatever, it's like, why does anyone live there? It seems like such a terrible, terrible place to live.
Right.
There's crime everywhere. There's like corrupt cops and just like villains and all this shit, and people are like, yeah, let's move there. Rent's cheap, I guess. Like, that's the only reason I can think of. It's so crazy.
But it's so mind blowing when I first saw Barbara Gordon as an old woman, and I didn't put that two and two together.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh crap,
It's Batgirl.
that's Batgirl, but old. And and you hear her talk about the stories when she used to be, and her and Bruce know each other. So that they still know like the identity of each other apparently, and they still kind of talk like, "Hey Bruce, hey Barbara, oh I see you got a new successor, still causing more trouble in some way." Yeah, you could say that, but
Yeah.
But nothing's Batman without the villain lineup. So
Okay.
you still have the old veteran villains coming through, but you
Right.
also have some new ones. So like some of my favorite villains that I like, for instance, like Blight was a cool character. He was basically the Lex Luthor of that universe. He was a businessman, but he had a nuclear waste.
Like Metallo. That's what I'm comparing him to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
basically. You had a character named Ghoul. He was basically the scarecrow of it all and
Yeah.
everything like that. You had Shriek. He was that guy with the he uses his hands as sound waves.
The sound wave thing.
Yeah. That was a cool character.
Oh, because that was the one they were down in the sewers.
Yes.
Yeah.
You had Spellbinder. He was the one that
Oh, he's like the red and
black but his
suit.
face was very, very screwed up, and he would use his hands, I believe, to like hypnotize you or something like that.
Hey, well,
He was like
his whole suit was red and black, so he could like manipulate stuff. Yeah.
And then you had some like returning people, like the Royal Flush Gang came back, but they're a lot older when they look
Was
like
the Royal Flush? Ooh, it was. Never mind, because we'll get into it. But they were in Unlimited.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were in that too.
Killer Croc was still there. He was just still living in the sewers. You had this one kid that was picked on in school, and he ended up getting messed. I guess he had a political charge with his robot, and he ended up controlling the robot, and he was like a giant golem of some type.
Is it Golem right there?
Yeah.
Right there.
So, he was always he controlled that and everything. But I also liked about it too was Terry was not like Batman, where he would just like Bruce Wayne would just kind of sit at home, go to work, see his business. Terry had a life. He had to go to school.
He partied all the time too. He was out dancing with his girlfriend and stuff.
Yeah, his best friend was I forgot what her name is, but it was a black girl that kind of looked out for. She was the only one that knew who his identity was.
Does she? I didn't know that.
Yeah. His girlfriend didn't know.
Yeah.
But she knew because I think she like saw him unmasked. I believe. Anybody can come and talk to me later if they disagree.
Ink. I was about to say that's
Ink
the one that I remember.
Ink was a very unique character because you haven't had a character like that in the Batman series.
Right. Wasn't nothing similar to just like.
Right.
Well, Clayface.
Okay, Clayface. Yeah, I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Not to ruin it, buddy. Sorry.
No, you're absolutely right. But there was a lot of characters. But my favorite episode was it started the character
2D Man. Go to 2D Man.
2D Man.
Right there, under 2.
You like 2D Man?
Oh, maybe that's not the one I'm thinking of.
Oh,
so
okay.
Say your thing, because there's one that he wasn't my favorite person, but it was just an interesting thing they did.
So my favorite episodes was this character named Carrere, and she was part of an assassin group where if she doesn't complete her mission, and another assassin will come and kill her.
Okay.
So Batman had to protect this person from this woman that had a blade that can cut through anything,
Okay.
like anything, and Batman managed to stop her.
Like Sokka's space sword.
Yeah, yeah. But I remember at the very end, she ended up leaving, and because she saw assassins from the shadows coming right after her and everything like that. And so that was something so unique, because Batman had dealt with assassin organizations, but I don't think like that. I mean, you had like Deadshot, but he was more of a contract killer, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
her, it was part of like, this is an organization. They are like kind of like Ra's al Ghul per se.
Okay, the League of Shadows.
Yeah. This is, I guess, like kind of a new addition about that. But I really like the villains because they were just so unique in their own library. Now, they're not going to be, memorable as, the original Batmans, but they made their spot in the Batman Beyond world to me. And so, what about you? Anything you classically remember from certain villains or episode?
There's 2 episodes that I remember, and because I knew you called me yesterday. I knew we were going to talk about this, so like just jumped into my mind. One was the episode where the dude, he was the reporter, and he kept turning on the invisible thing so he could hide. He could walk through walls, but it kept messing with his molecular system or whatever, and his molecules. So he did it one last time, and it just made his body completely pass through everything, and he couldn't stop passing through it. So he literally just dropped through this building, and Terry's running down like, Bruce, you got to help me help this guy. Like, I got nothing to do. And he literally just fell through the center of the earth. And eventually, so like he obviously,
He's gone.
He has to die. That's the only thing that can happen. There was that, and there was another one where this guy, he was a, what was it? He was a, he would give, what is it when you have like a prosthetics? He would do prosthetics, and there was like 3 or 4 guys, and they each had like a primary color, so you could know the difference. But one had like arms that turned into like his on his elbows, they would turn into like saws, and the other dude had like shotguns on his knees and stuff like that. And,
I remember that.
right, and the guy
did remember
the
that.
guy that created it, he saw a picture of Terry saw a picture of the guy's wife that passed away, and why he wanted payback for all this stuff.
Yeah.
And her name was Amber, and there was a moon in the background, and there's a famous song called Amber Moon, and then Terry's about to die or whatever in the thing, and the thing comes out, and he just goes, and there was like a passcode that you could use to defuse the guys, and he just goes, Amber Moon, and the guy's arms like fall off because they like
I remember that.
It was those 2 I remember the most for whatever reason.
Okay.
They had some fun villains. They were interesting. Yeah,
it was. I think it was a really good playground for them to really experiment a bunch of ideas.
Yeah,
because I believe this was a show first before comics were created for this. I think this was just a hand.
You need to like carry it on and stuff.
Yeah. I think they did the whole Harley thing, where Harley got created by just experimenting and see what worked.
Well, she was in the comics first, right? No. She was in the show.
Yeah. That's why I think Batman Beyond was just an experiment idea. They had some good characters, and then maybe the comic just got created to continue that legacy.
Right. But speaking of, I love how they kind of wrapped it around, and they made the Dee her granddaughters.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool, because it was in the spoiler alert.
I was going to get into the spoils because
because
Batman Beyond did not finish.
No,
it got canceled and it left with a cliff.
But they did in the most brilliant fucking way.
So they did it in the Justice League episodes.
It was a final season of Unlimited.
Yeah. So it was a part because Static Shock was kind of in there, and the story was Terry McGinnis was going to go talk to a guy to hear a story. I think it was called The Greatest Story Ever Told, and it was supposed to be a Batman story.
Ooh.
And Terry McGinnis was there to sit and listen to why is Batman this remarkable hero.
Are you talking about the final thing? The final episode when it wrapped everything up?
No, not that. I'm talking about, this is considered the final episode of Batman Beyond. This was considered the final episode they couldn't finish it, so they used it in the Justice League.
But, okay, I think you're off. Because the one the final episode is called Epilogue, and it was the one when he goes and talks to Amanda Waller, and he talks to her, and she talks about doing the nanobots in his dad's blood, so that whenever his mom got pregnant.
Okay, that's all wrapped together. That's the same one.
Is it?
I thought the title. I thought the episode was called The Greatest Story Ever Told.
Oh no, sorry.
It was something that Batman did, and then that's where you find out. Spoiler alert.
No, because that's when because she tells a story about him.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Okay.
Then that's when he finds out, I am a clone of the Batman over. Well, I think he already knew, but he was trying to get closure.
It was Bruce Wayne is biologically his father. is what it is.
Yeah. So I thought, honestly, and we could look this up later, but I think it's called The Greatest Story Ever Told. It was one of the best. It was one of the greatest moments Batman done, and then that
Whenever he talked,
Yeah.
the Ace of Spades from
blowing up the
world.
yeah. So that was something I'll definitely have to revisit. But that was
Such a good
That was a
episode.
great episode, and it wrapped up everything. It concluded everything per se. I think people wanted the closure of what was the story between Terry and Bruce. I think
yeah.
that was the big closure.
And
right
you got
there.
to see him like
Yeah.
full grown up man.
Yeah,
Not
I
'cause
think
he
that's
was
what they
he was
wanted.
a teenager when you left.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because people wanted actually to see Terry grow into the series as an older person. I think
Yeah,
they wanted, but
yeah,
they
yeah.
couldn't get. So this is the best way they did it. And so, but the question is now: is Batman Beyond is 20 years, and yet the world in Hollywood are so afraid to make a movie out of it. So my question is for us is: do we want a movie? And two, why do you think we haven't had it yet? So I'll go first. I think people want a Batman Beyond movie. I think we've been wanting it for a while. It could be because we just haven't had the technology yet, or it's just at the point we're at the point where DC wasn't really hitting their stride yet of what are we going to do with these DC characters. I think they're still working on it right now. And maybe it was just too dangerous because people still don't understand what Batman Beyond is, or maybe not take it so seriously because, they're still trying to get these other characters going. What is your opinion on that?
About a movie,
Do you think people want it?
no.
Okay.
I really don't. I mean, it's one of those ones that I think it could be a really, if they did a live action show, if they arrowed or flashed it and did like the DC, like kept it, maybe not even in the DC. Actually, that might not be a bad idea if they kept it in the Arrowverse, but did the show in the future because it's set in the future.
I haven't watched Arrows, so.
Dude, they're so much fun. Because they just do all the crossovers are the best reason to watch it. But I digress. A TV show could be cool. But DC does good on TV shows, but like they do bad at they're terrible at movies. They haven't done a good one since the
I heard mixed feelings about Aquaman though. As heard I'll put it like this: it's not their best one, but it's the best one. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I
got you. Well, that still means it's not good. But they do. What was it? Everyone loved Wonder Woman. I thought it was all right. And it wasn't the whole, she's a woman. No, I didn't think it was a good movie. It was just boring. It was slow, and
I liked it. It's better than Batman and Superman to me.
See, I loved Batman
And Justice
vs
League.
Superman only because I think Affleck did a good job as Batman.
That was not my issue with it.
Right.
My issue was just the whole layout. It was just poorly
Martha,
done.
that was it. Really, a name? That's what connects.
Well,
you
I
to?
didn't like.
Ugh.
I felt like it was Batman with Superman, not a Batman and Superman. I feel like and we're not going to go down this rabbit hole, but
Right.
just the fact I felt like they tried too hard to make Superman this evil person or this
Within
terrible
this one.
person,
Yeah.
and not making them even ground. It felt like
Yeah.
Batman was trying to be this hero to take down Superman.
Yeah.
And make you root. They were trying really hard for making you the root for Batman over Superman. It wasn't that debate like, oh, I hope Superman wins. I hope Batman wins. No, it was more like, well, let's see if Batman can take him down.
Yeah.
So that was
But-
just my digression about
Yeah,
that.
sorry, I didn't mean to let you go. I didn't mean to lead us down that way.
No, you're good.
But no, maybe a TV show would be good. They've got what is the Justice, not the Justice League. What's the Teen Titans, the TV show that they're. I haven't seen it, but it doesn't look good. It looks.
It's been getting some really mixed feelings.
It doesn't look good. So if they did it well, it would be cool. Like if the people that did Marvel's Daredevil and Jessica Jones, if they like took that creative team but played it towards Batman
Right.
Beyond, I think they could do it good because they would make it. I think since it is a futuristic city, it needs to be dark and gritty-ish, but it doesn't need to be like. It doesn't need to be Man of Steel like dark and gritty.
Right.
And you blah blah. It just
Right.
but it's got to have some of that to it. You know what? Imagine like Sin City. There we go. If Sin City did Batman Beyond, I think that'd be really good.
Yeah,
Not with the
I
black
still
and white,
think it's
but-
possible for a movie. I think right now they're at the point where I think they could just throw anything at a dartboard and just say, why not?
Yeah.
To see what happens. By seeing what they do now with the futuristic technology like Blade Runner and all this, I can see this world coming. I can see a one and done too. I can just see a one and done just to see where it goes.
Just one movie?
Yeah, just one movie. Because a lot of people want I think the number one reason why they want it, because one, they want Michael Keaton to come back, but they want Michael Keaton to be that Bruce Wayne in that world.
That would be dope as hell. I would agree with that. That would be awesome.
Yeah. So that's one reason why people want it. They just want to see Michael Keaton back in the movies as Batman, but someone else take that line.
Yeah, I agree, but also Michael Keaton ain't old enough. They got to wait another like 30 years. So
yeah, but Christopher Lloyd wasn't old enough, but they pulled that off in Back to the Future, right? That's weird, right?
What do you mean?
Like, Christopher Lloyd was not that old when Back to the Future came. Now he's old now that he can not even put on a wig and look old, because he looks like the part now.
Yeah, but I still feel like Michael Keaton is.
I guess makeup for me was just.
Well, no, I'm saying he's still young enough. But
Yeah.
either way.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
But yeah, it's just.
You want him to play it as like, I want him to be like as the age of what
See,
it's supposed to be.
well,
I want him to be 90 when he does
because
this.
also, if you think about it, I mean, he was just in Spider-Man. He was agile. He was kicking ass. You can't go from that to I can't be Batman no more. Like, that would you know what I mean? It would be such
Right.
a weird. Like, well, you should beat the hell out of Spider-Man, and he's very agile. So I think you could be okay just fighting the Joker who has a fake gun. But that would be cool.
Yeah.
I would like that.
And I don't know who the kid would be. Hopefully they pick. But I think the toughest part about it is who would be the first villain would they go with. That'd be the toughest part. But I would be more worried about like, how are you going to show us this world? You have to show us this world, because this is a futuristic world. You can't just go straight and expect us like, oh, okay, we're used to the world already. No, like, give us a tour. And I think that's a lot of problems with a lot of movies when they try to do sci-fi. They don't give us a tour of the world. They just throw it out there and just expect us to just sit there. You know, that's why, like, I think Fifth Element did a great job as a film, because they gave you a tour of that
Did
world.
you say Valerian, however it was?
I did, and that was a little disappointing. Like, the world was cool.
That's what I'm saying.
Story-
Did they explain the world good?
They explained the world really good. The problem is the characters were just too cardboard.
Right. Okay. That's. But my point being is,
yeah.
like, if they explained the Batman Beyond Gotham like that, then
like, I want to see like the little Joker games come around spray painting, calling chaos. Like, show us a little bit of,
kind of like what the first episode did.
Yeah. So, but what about a video game? Now that's the possibility, and I believe that it's time for that. And the reason why I brought you also on here is we have both played the 3 Batman games that came out: Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight.
I did not play Arkham Knight.
You did not play Arkham
not play
Knight.
Arkham Knight,
Okay. 2 out of 3 is not bad.
But I've also technically played it because it's Arkham City with new characters.
Yeah. So, but
And all I did was not drive the battle.
so I guess my question is, do you personally would you like, I don't want to say personally, would you want one, but would you enjoy a Batman Beyond video game?
Yeah, if they did it like if
Rocksteady did it?
Yeah, if they did it like they did the first one. Because the first one was like the perfect amount. It was in a
An asylum?
well, obviously the asylum, but no, it was what's the word I'm looking for? It was in it wasn't everywhere. It was in a specific location. Like,
It was a very small playground.
small enough, but not huge.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like maybe a portion of Gotham, which is what they did in Arkham, but it was still too
It was
big.
basically what he's saying, like a garden. It's like a very small area. Like,
Yeah, just-
it's like half the city. Like,
Yeah,
give
it
me
was-
half a city.
Even less than that, though.
Okay.
Because you still need to be able to fly and do. But also,
But he has a lot of stuff, dude.
But also on the same side. Oh, here's the thing. Maybe do that, but not. See, here's the thing though. I'm saying this, but then on the flip side, I'm thinking have it as big as Spider-Man.
I think it should be go big or go home with this.
Yeah. Maybe my problem with it is because it was like everything was so tight. Everything was so right next to each other. Like at least in what is it? In the new Spider-Man game, like everything was tight, but like there was like a good diversification of like tall buildings, short buildings, medium in the middle. Like it just kind of broke up. Obviously, it's New York, so they based it as much in reality
Right.
as they could. But they kind of did all that. So if they did something like that, but I feel like. And it's been so long that since I've played the Arkham games, but I felt like everything was
I think my challenge to that
and it was
is
dark and
basically
rainy.
I think my challenge to that is basically his repertoire of gadgets that he has.
yeah, that'd be
I mean,
fun.
he has the shoes that shoot out rockets. You can't do it. To me, you can't do it in a small place. Like, you need a city so you can fly around
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
true,
That'd be
too.
kind of cool. You have when he does investigations. How awesome would that his whole investigation stuff is on the tip of his finger when he has to do stuff.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a really cool thing to see. The battle rings, the electric battle rings that he has, the transmitter battle rings. That'd be kind of cool when he has to go chase people down and stuff like
Yeah.
that. That big, humongous vehicle he has was really cool.
Oh, the like his Batmobile.
Yeah,
Like the
and
flying
then you were
one.
mentioning Spider-Man. He has the claws, so he can climb up and stuff like that. And just think about this, the way he can just disappear with his like cloak stuff and just come in and do awesome stuff like
Yeah.
that. I think in that future world he can get away with all that kind of stuff, but you need a big world to show that.
That's true too.
Yeah.
They need to do it like, I think that like the neon from the city, from the futuristicness of the world would be the good part, like the thing, because then I'm thinking like the thing about Arkham City was it was always dark, it was always night, like because all this in theory in the game happened in the course of a night,
Right.
So like it all took place and it was always fucking rainy and all that stuff. With Spider-Man there was like the day-night cycle, so it kind of,
and that's what it needs to be for Beyond, because
Yeah.
And the reason is because you're right, because most of the time in most Bruce Waynes, he always does this work at night. He really doesn't do anything else except like keep an eye on his enterprise and stay at home until it's nighttime.
Yeah.
At least Terry, he goes to school and stuff, so he can have a little bit of a social life in the game. And then
there's also, because there was one episode of it where Batman Beyond where he's like playing squash and he sees this dude is using like they called them slappers, and it was the Venom stuff that made the dude big.
Yes, that was basically part of the Bane thing.
Exactly, it was the Venom that Bane used. Thing, and that one dude eventually just like,
I forgot. That's a great
and he
great
buffed
episode.
up.
Yeah.
And so at that, it's like, okay, cool. So he's in school, and then like maybe he's just walking somewhere, and he hears a kid say something because he's paying attention. He trails the kid, and then he sees the thing. All right, cool. Later that night, you got to go and fight Bane. Or
Right.
this is.
Just follow the breadcrumbs.
So there's something.
Yeah.
Now you couldn't do that for everything because not every kid's gonna be like, oh, and my cousin Ink. Okay.
But no, those are very small little things you can do. It's kind of like it would be basically the Riddler's things in the game, right? These little bitty side little stories.
Yeah. Did you play Spider-Man?
I haven't played the newest one.
Oh, it's fucking great.
Everybody's saying that.
But the thing is, like, the only difference with that in between this is because Peter Parker doesn't have a mentor. He's got no one to go to. He's got he's got Bruce.
He got Bruce. He got his girl, and he got his friend on the inside.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I'm saying in the sense of like, because there's certain things within Spider-Man. It's like you go back to the lab and you solve problems to do stuff. Terry's not known to be a smart dude, if I'm not mistaken. He's just a regular guy. He's not stupid.
He's learning what Batman teaches him.
Yeah, but like but Peter Parker is a very smart kid.
Yes.
You know, so like in that realm, it's not like you can go back as Terry and go, oh, I've got to splice this stuff together, because he's not to do that shit. So if they could find a way to make it to where there's stuff that he could do, like building a new suit or doing stuff, finding a new
shoot
or whatever it
or
is.
even like when he does investigations, that's the information, because I know the suit can do this, the information he can send to Batman, and Batman can come back like, hey, this is what I figure out. I need you to go to this location, investigate this, and put this together. You know, I think he can do the whole simple like, puzzle. Hey, this goes here and here. But when it comes to chemicals or anything like fingerprints or anything like dust like that, Batman can come with that scan and say, hey, give me 5 minutes, keep scanning what you're doing or something like that.
I just thought about this. Like, you could have Terry come back like just after he beats a boss or whatever, and he's exhausted, and he's like, man, he goes, I could really use like something that could take a better hit. He goes, like, I'm tired. He's tired. I'm playing it out in like a cutscene. And then, so he's like, all right, you get some rest. I'll see what I can do. And then he passes out. And then at that point, you can take over playing as Bruce, and you're doing.
You could do that, yeah. That's a good idea.
Playing is like, okay, these alloys are better than this, and then
now that can work.
Suit. So and then he wakes up. He goes, all right, while you were passed out, I worked on something. It's not done yet. I need a couple things. Go find this stuff. We'll be able to finish it.
Yeah.
Then in that regard, and you also get to play as Batman a little bit.
Yeah.
As original.
Right.
So in that regard, that could be fun, because you're still getting to do the little side quest stuff that's not fighting, but it's still,
right. I think what would be cool, and they haven't done this in a lot of video games, is I wish based on the decisions that you can accidentally create a bad guy. Based on the decision that you make. So let's say you let someone get away. That person later might become a villain that you have to fight later based on the decision you make. Did you let him go or not?
Okay.
We haven't seen that before.
That'd be kind of interesting. That'd be really difficult to program, though, because like how often though, like, because I mean, if you did that for everybody, maybe.
Well, no.
It's only like
it's basically
3 people in the
it's
game.
basically talking your way out of a boss fight or not. We've seen that before. Like in Mass Effect, they ask you, do you want to fight this woman, or do you want to try to see if you can convince her out of this? You know, we've seen this before. That's in the Fallout. That's in like, you know, Elder Scrolls. You can talk your way out of a situation.
Right. Well,
So I can see this being, and not for every villain, just
Right.
one.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe it's like some of those like random things, like in Arkham Asylum, people are getting attacked. You save them from the bad guys. Maybe it's from time to time. Maybe you don't save them, but it can only be like a specific like 5 characters. It can't be everybody.
No.
Right.
I would like to
'cause
be just a one person, just because, depending on it, you might never fight this villain in the game. But that could be a fun little Easter egg. It's like, what if I didn't save? What if I just didn't what if I didn't capture that person? I just let him go because maybe he learned his lesson.
Yeah.
You know, and then all of a sudden you get ink.
Yeah.
You know, maybe that guy was the one that created another villain, and he did something bad because you didn't know his backstory or something like that. And it would just be a fun little surprise that you just didn't see it coming. And then you can bring, if you want to, you can bring a lot of veteran characters back in their own way, like you said with the Bane thing. But you could bring something back. They can even make up funny new stories just for the hell of it. They don't have to go straight by the book.
Because they also, in sense, well, the thing with it's they've got the the freedom. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. They got the freedom, the artistic freedom to you could do, because there's not a ton outside of the comics, because they kept the comics going. I don't know how many issues there are, but I'm assuming it's a good handful now.
Yeah.
But I feel like not a lot of people know about those stories, so you can explore that or write new shit, kind of like they did with Arkham Knight. They created a new character, even though he ended up not being a new character.
Red Hood.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So it ended up being someone else, just they put ears on him. So I mean, you could explore so much stuff and make up new stuff that even fit in. One of the things they have to try not to do, and this is going to be tough because this is part of the Batman world. We cannot stick with the world being black and red. We got to find some way to have a distinct district kind of thing. It's like Batman is known for black and red. Every city's dark with some red lines coming through it. That's the theme. It's black and red. That's what I was saying. You got to do the neon, because they had like
that's
the,
what I'm
the
saying.
orange
Like you were saying,
and green,
you got to make it distinct, like what areas that you're going at, because it can not only that. It can be boring. It can just be boring to look at. You know what I mean? Just going through the city and just seeing the same thing over and over again. Now the question is, Batman got away with it in the city because they basically blocked the city off for people walking around. But Spider-Man, they had some people walking around and stuff like that. My question asking for you is, do we want to see people going on with their lives in that
citizens?
world? Yeah,
they have to be there. Because it's not a real city if that's not the case. At that point, it's just
the difference is because remember Arkham City, they cleared out the city,
but they didn't, because there were still civilians there. There had to have been. Because
I don't remember civilians. I remember a lot of ghouls were everywhere.
No, they're because that's where who was it? Selena Kyle's apartment was in the center of that. Mind you, she is.
Oh, by the way, there's a fourth Batman I forgot to talk about, but that's later. Is that one before all of it?
The Origins.
Yeah. Anyways,
Selena Kyle, she's Catwoman, but and her apartment is in the middle of all that stuff. But outside of being Catwoman, she's still just a person.
I'll give you that, but I guess I'm not seeing a lot of citizens. Okay, they're not. It's not Spider-Man level. It is not Spider-Man level.
But also Spider-Man. It's just the world. It's not like a cutoff area from the city.
That's true.
So it's just like Manhattan, or not Manhattan, but like Long Island.
Yeah.
But I just thought about this. What if for the game they it's like it's already set. Terry's been Batman for a couple years, say that. But at one point they shut down the Arkham City, but they had to reopen it because there's so much crime, and they had to bring in and he has to go into Arkham City, new updated Arkham City.
That could work.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Also like kind of in the same area, but not really. But I kind of like that, but also it's like, give me a new area. I just thought about that as like.
Well, that's the thing about Gotham City, right? No one knows how big Gotham City really is. We can only compare it to two cities that we know. They compare it to Chicago, but we really don't know. I mean, it's probably bigger than we think it is, and they could just make up an area, and it's just it's just possible like that. But the last thing is the most important part of all this is the fighting. Should the fighting be just like the Arkhams, or should it be in a new and improved style for this character? That's the tough part right there.
I say it's the same. That's what I'm looking for. Same mechanics, but like it's kind of like, okay, this is going to be like a weird like thing, but you'll see where I'm going. Whenever they did Avatar: The Last Airbender, whenever they came up with the TV show, each of the different elements is a different martial art.
Yeah.
Because like one is more fluid, like the water.
Yeah,
and the other one's
yeah.
more stuff. He's a different person. So as long as like they kept like the way they do it with like the flow motion and you can still attack, but the moves that he does are a different way.
That make it his own.
Exactly. Make it
His
like,
own identity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So something like that. Maybe he doesn't, break bones as much. Maybe he just like makes people pass out or does something or who knows. But something like that could be a little different. It would, familiar but different. And also since he does have more gadgets, I feel like, than Batman did, and he's got the ability to fly, you could kind of do what they did in the new Spider-Man game. Not to make it all about those two games, but they're very similar,
Yeah.
You'd be able to use those and be able to like fly out of a situation and still come down and hit someone and shit like that, or however.
Yeah,
it works. But you
yeah.
can't,
I would definitely use that, since Terry is not as a skillful fighter as Batman. I think environmental stuff would be cool for just a quick scene. So for instance, like if he's near a rail or something, you can only do a certain particular move if you're near the rail of something, or a wall, or maybe there's a like something like up above, like a sign. Maybe he can kick him in the wall, go up, kick the thing, and fall. I don't think that would happen like that, but you know what I mean. Like certain moves that make him use it. Yeah, use it right. Now Batman has done that before. Like he'll grab weapons on the ground and use it for something like. But Terry, to me, he has all the gadgets. So I don't see him using really that much weapons on the ground. I mean, it's still possible, but I would like him to use more of the environment for what he has to do. You know what I mean? Like maybe he could throw a shocker at the wall and then kick somebody into that shocker or something, and he can shock up. Or the water. Or there's water. He throws it down.
The exact same thing. There's water on the ground. Shock it.
Yeah.
Which I think they did that, and they had to do that in Arkham at some point. Because you have the electric gun thing.
Yeah, you're right.
And also the
I have
electric
to replay it again. It's been so long.
Yeah,
but,
I haven't. Yeah,
but I think there's just a lot of surprises that they could put in there that we probably just don't know. I have to rewatch the show and get more ideas. Like that can work, that can work, that can work. Because the show did give you a tour of Gotham, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot in there. Like they can use this, they can use that, they can do this. But I think what makes it really sink is I think they need a little bit of a choice base. I love choice. One more, and then we gotta head out.
I just got an idea real quick. Sorry, it'd be cool if they did it to where like there was a flashback. As when old Bruce, he is like, oh, I know who this villain is. I had to fight him at one point, and then you get to play as old Batman for like 20 minutes or something.
That could work.
That'd be kind of cool. He's like, you're just inside like a warehouse and you find something. So it's
that could work. Heck,
small.
I mean, you could do it based on the first episode too. As you play Batman as he was Batman Beyond before he gave up the suit.
Because the whole gun shit.
Yeah. And then then you could do years down the line. Here's a new hero or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I do. And it was cool at first, but I think we need to lead that to the Batman. I think it needs to be Batman first by himself. Let's not have the alternate switch people out.
Yeah.
Because, Nightwing was in it later on, but he's a lot older.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want that. I think I want Beyond. I want Terry McGinnis only, and let's just focus on that for the first game and then go from there.
I'd be down with that. That'd be great.
But beyond that, that's the end of our episode, sadly enough. I want to thank for all listeners for joining us through the Kingdom Hearts, through our Batman Beyond, and the Guide to Be a Comedian with Andrew Rose at the very beginning. But Andrew, thank you so much for making the time to come by and talk about something that is right up your alley, like Kingdom Hearts, Batman.
That's exactly all.
Well, I could do this.
You can talk about anything else. I know very little, but I can talk about this all day.
Right. But remember, you can always find our shows as the In-Game Boss program, a network of gaming and other variety shows. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter. But to listen to all our shows, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Podbean. So definitely just look us up. Andrew, he has a bunch of projects. Do you want to do any plugins for your stuff?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, man. If you like funny, silly stories, go and subscribe to The Liars Club. It's the podcast that I produce. You hear me from time to time, but it's a fun thing. I have two comedian friends. They both bring on a guest. Each guest tells two stories. One's true, one's a lie, and they try and figure out which one is which, and they grill them. And it's a whole bunch of fun. They're all the time comedians, or at least funny people, so they're crazy, funny, silly stories, and you always get some and it's fun to play along, try and figure out for yourself which is which. But that is called The Liars Club with Felicia Michaels and Jessica Wellington. And also I have a book for sale on Amazon. It's called 365 Funny Facts for Your Unfunny Father. It is on Amazon. If you go to arosecomedy.com, you can find the book link on there. Look for that. And then I'm everywhere on all social media at 1 Andrew Rose. That is the number 1 Andrew Rose. And this was fun, man. everyone keeps supporting my buddy Jeremy. He's good dude, and like I remember a few years ago saying I want to do one. You're like, oh, maybe, and then now you have like a baby empire of
right
podcasts.
Right.
It's
Well,
fucking cool, man.
like we were talking about beforehand, commitment.
Yeah,
You know, I think we're at the point of growing up as we got to stop saying it and just do it.
Yeah.
You know, it's better to try, not try at all, kind of thing. Or like you said before, you know, your way is like ask. Never hurts to ask.
Just ask.
You never know what's going to happen. And so, I commit to this. So even if, you know, later on, if I decide to do something else, at least I can look back on it as like, I gave it a try. And the goal is like for you and both of us have one thing in common. We're just trying to get our name out there. We're just trying to see where this project that we're doing takes us.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so I'm very happy for your success that you're going on your journey.
Thank you,
I know that trip to Cali was a big step. I know you were, you know, that was probably the most challenging step for you in your life
so far it has been. Yeah.
So, and with that, if you guys have any other questions, you can always visit me on my Twitter page. That's RetroAmp07. Or if you have any other questions, please email me at theingameoffice@gmail.com. Just let us know if we're doing a great job or doing a bad job. Would you like to hear? Would you not like to hear? Are you a Batman fan? Do you hate Batman? Don't talk to me if you don't like Batman. But let us know. Would you like to see a Batman Beyond game? Would you not like the Batman Beyond game? You think that was more like, it was there, but I don't think people really want it. Just let me know. Tell me how you feel. You feeling good? All right. And with that, we will catch you on our next episode.